This is necessary so that we can all have access to these training slides, and we can also move together as I'm flowing. So thank you so much. This evening, what we shall be treating, or the lecture of this evening, is start creating a company sales story and using storytelling to build rapport to close deals in real estate company, in real estate industry. So how can you create a company sales story? How can you create an opinion story? And using that same story to build rapport between you as a salesperson and also your client outside there. Not only that, after using the storytelling to create that rapport, how will you now be able to make use of that storytelling that you have used to build rapport? How will you now use that rapport? How will you convert it to sales? That is what we are saying in essence. That's what we are saying in essence. And for the simplicity purpose, this topic has been breaking down into two major aspects. The number one aspect is what is called the power of storytelling in real estate sales. While the second aspect of it is building rapport and closing this with company sales story. Then we move ahead. The importance of storytelling in sales. Why storytelling matters in sales? Why do I think there is need for storytelling before we are in sales process? Why do we think it is important? It is important for so many reasons. It is important for so many reasons that are so more for reasons that are so much related, and that reasons that enhance your sales process. Now, the number one of it is build trust. Storytelling help you to build trust. You will not only build trust alone, you will be able to gain the trust of your client, while your client will be able to gain your own trust. Telling story. By the time you tell a compelling story, you will be able to build trust, build rapport. Of course, when you engage in talking, in storytelling with your client, it makes them to see more than it is written in the paper. It made them to see, and it get them convinced totally. When you have rapport with somebody, it make them to, you feel free, they feel free with you, they feel at home, they feel comfortable. That is rapport. That's what rapport can do. Then storytelling also creates emotional connections. Yes, emotional connections. With storytelling, you get connected emotionally, meaning that you are in their heart, you are in your client's heart, while your client are also in your heart. So with your storytelling, with company storytelling, you get connected emotionally. Then it also differentiates you from competitors. Telling story about sales to your client will definitely differentiate you from your competitor, because this will help. It will help you as a salesperson to know where you are standing. It will help your client to identify you and identify what your company is standing for, what you are up to, what you have upstairs, what are the things. It will help them to know the qualities about you and about your product. So that is why it will clearly differentiate you from your competitors. Then it increases memorability. It increases memorability. This will increase the memorability of your client. At least they will have the qualities, the features, and every other things needful they need to know about your product. With storytelling, they will have that memory. And don't forget, once you are in the memory of your client, you are already in their heart. And once you are able to win, to conquer the memory and the heart, then you have conquered everything. Once a man's heart is conquered and the man's memory is conquered, then nothing is left again. Then even if you are selling books, you are telling them these books, I want to sell to you is the new Banana Island, is the new Lekki Peninsula. They believe with you. Why? Because you have taken over their memory and their heart. And that is why they agree with you. They are always with you. They don't have any iota of doubt in their mind. Create genuinity. By the time you are able to tell story to your client, it creates genuinity. They see the genuinity in you, in what you do. Then build comfortability. Comfortability is there. They believe you to the core. They feel relaxed. They feel comfortable. They feel at home. They believe you. That is comfortability. Then understanding your target audience. Why do you need to understand your target audience? You need to understand your target audience before you can know the type of story you need to tell your target audience. Stories are diverse from stories, and that is why you need to understand your target audience. Know whom you want to tell this story to. Know what this client wants, and know the relevant story to be telling about it. Now, understanding your target audience, knowing your buyer. You have to know your buyer. You have to know your client. You have to know, is this your buyer a residential buyer? Is this a commercial buyer? Is this an industrial buyer? Is this an agricultural buyer? You have to understand your buyers, know the perspective of your buyer, so that you can know the compelling story, relevant compelling story that is related to your buyers. Then identify their needs, want, and pain point. You have to identify your need point. You have to be in your customer's mind. You have to know where the shoe pains. You have to know where the shoe pains your customers. You have to be on the same page with your customer. Know their needs, their want, and pain points. Without identifying that, it will be as if you are just parabolating. You are running neta-sketa, you are running after the bulls, after the shadow. You just need to identify your customer needs, their wants, and the pain points. Understand their motivations and goals. Know their goals. Know what they are aiming for. Know where they want to be. Know what they actually want. That is, understand their motivations and goals. Tailor your story to resonate with them. After understanding and identifying all these key points I just mentioned, you now have to tailor your story. You need to create your story in such a way that will resonate with them, in such a way that will be related to their want, to what they want to hear. It's one thing to be talking, it's another thing to be telling people what they want to hear. If you are talking to me and you are not telling me what I want to hear at a particular period of time, then you might seem not talking to me. You seem not talking to me until you are able to understand my story. You are able to understand my want, my needs. You are able to craft a compelling story that resonates with my own reasoning. That is when you can actually catch my attention. Then crafting a compelling sales story. How do you craft a compelling sales story? What are the elements of a compelling sales story? You don't just create a story or you don't just craft a story. You have to look at it. There are some key elements that needs to be in your story before your story can catch attention, before it can gain the interest and arrest the mind of your customer. The elements of a compelling sales story start with a hook to grab attention. You don't just start. Take, for instance, let's assume I'm a passersby, and you, as a salesperson, you're just coming with your flyer, buy land, or buy land. And when you now tell me a story, now say, and if you don't buy now, you say, you are not talking, you are not marketing. That is the problem majorities of us are having these days. Majority of sales people are having these days. Most find it difficult to even approach clients. They find it difficult to approach people on the road, in the bus, in their street, church members, their club members. Some people find it difficult to talk. You, as a salesperson, you need to know how to open your mouth and talk, how to start with a hook to grab attention, to gain the mind of your client arrested. Use vivid language and descriptive details. Use vivid language and descriptive details. What do we mean by vivid language? The vivid language simply means the understandable language. If you are talking to a Yoruba man that does not understand English, and you are speaking in English, you are wasting your time. That is not a vivid language for such a person. If you are talking to an Igbo man and seems not to be fully understand Igbo, but understand English, and because it's an Igbo man, you are not talking to such a man in Igbo dialect, then it seems you are not talking. So when we say use vivid language, use the language that is best understandable by your client, the language that can be interpreted and be assimilated by your client, the language that will pass the information without any means of interpretation to your client. That is what we are saying when we ask you to use vivid language and descriptive details. Then highlight the benefit and value proposition. Highlight the benefit and value proposition. You say, when you are marketing as a salesperson, the number one, what's supposed to be paramount in the mind of every salesperson is value that you want to add. The value that you are creating, that is what is supposed to be paramount in your mind as a salesperson, not the money, not the commission, not the benefit that is coming to you at the point of making the sales. But when you think of the value you are adding to the people, what people tend to gain from this thing, what will be their benefit? When you understand it perfectly as a salesperson and you are able to pass the same to your client, talk of the benefit and not of the money. Talk of the value and not of make your payment. When you talk of the value, you pass it accordingly. You talk of the benefit, you pass it accordingly. It is your client that will be asking you, what bank am I paying to? Can I pay now? I've closed some days like that for people in this office, in my office. I've closed it. After finishing talking to these people, the client was the one asking me, when am I paying now? I said, yes. Are you still asking me? Can I pay now? I said, yes. Immediately, That is the power of passing the benefit, telling the values, giving the value of your product and the proposition to your client. Use social proof and testimonials. That's a great one. That's very great. Also, when you are able to use social proof and testimonials, oh, lo and behold, believe me, yours sincerely, true or true, you have conquered everything about your client. You are able to use social proof, a visible proof, and testimonials of, oh, this. That's why some people, we do advise them, when you are in our office to get the document of your client, try to do a short video. Oh, this is the document of my client who just subscribed to Obama's, who just bought a Lunar City, who just subscribed to our Brookfield at the rate of so a month, and I'm here today on my client's behalf to get, or I'm here with my client to get his or her document. So now I'm happy that my client is now a landowner at Obama's, at this, at that. By the time you send this to your social media platforms, lo and behold, that is bringing you another sales. That is why you need to use social proof and testimonials. Building rapport and closing deals with company sales story. At the inception of this class, I said this class has been breaking down into two aspects. The very first aspect is what I just concluded, while the second one is building rapport and closing deals with company sales story. Building rapport through storytelling. How do you build rapport? Through storytelling. Building trust and rapport. Share personal anecdotes and experiences. Share personal anecdotes and experiences. Share what is real, your personal experience with your client. Use storytelling to show empathy and understanding. Use storytelling to let your client feel that you are in the same shoe with him or her. To feel that, let your customer understand that you understand him, you understand his own point of view, you understand his own perspective. Let your customer feel it and understand that you feel the same pain with him or her. Then highlight shared values and interest. Value is the key. Value is the key. If you are marketing any product and you have not, or you are afraid to mention the value I'm going to get from this product, then it seems you are not selling. It seems you are not marketing. It seems you are not marketing. Value is the key. Always don't forget. Always mention values. Dig deep into the values and create. That will help you to earn the interest of your client. Types of sales stories. Types of sales stories. We have success stories. We have testimonials. We have overcoming obstacles and personal experience. Believe with me, true or true, you understand that sales stories diverse and they are not the same. And that is why you have to know the type of a sales stories you need to apply when you're talking to a particular client. So we have success stories is one of the sales stories. We have testimonials, which is also another sales story. We have overcoming obstacles. It's another sales story. Some of you don't even know how to create. Some of us don't know how to create overcoming obstacles stories. We have to know how to create this. You know what you have. You have different series clients with series and different perspectives. You have stubborn one, you have hard one, you have difficult one, you have simple one. But how do you overcome them? They have become your obstacles, but how do you overcome them? That is another story. Personal experience, your personal experience is another story. Then, using storytelling to address objections. Yes, when there are objections, storytelling can help you to overcome all these objections. So, how do you now use storytelling to overcome these objections? Addressing concerns through storytelling. Use stories to illustrate solutions. Use stories to illustrate solutions to common objections. You have to use stories to illustrate solutions to common objections. The objections you have before you, you just create a story, a compelling and appealing story to illustrate the solution to that objections. Then share example of successful outcomes. Then you share examples of successful outcomes. I like the benefit of overcoming objections. You know, the objection is not for you, it's for your client, it's for your prospect. But what is your own task? Your own task is to show the way out, the solution to this objection to your client. And that is why you need to highlight the benefit of overcoming this objection to your client. Tell your client, if you as a person has not overcome this objection, then it seems you are not going to make way in properties and in making lots of money. You have to let your client know the importance of overcoming these objections. Creating a sense of urgency, that is another very important one. You have to create a sense of urgency. You have to create a scene that will make your client or prospect to know that he or she need to do it right now, that it is now. You have to let him know that delay might be a denial. Delay might be a denial. It is wrong to say delay is not a denial. In this case, you let your client know that delay is a denial. So creating a sense of urgency through storytelling. Number one, you have use stories to highlight the benefit of acting quickly, of acting promptly, of acting on time, of acting ASAP, of acting ASAP. You have to highlight the benefit. You have to highlight the benefit. Take, for instance, we have a promo going that has this. You have a promo ongoing with this statement. Don't forget, promo lasts while the offer lasts. Promo lasts while the offer lasts or the product lasts. It means the promo you had the advert today in the next. Oh, we are very sorry for that. That's as a result of network issues. Now, let me confirm, can everyone hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can everyone as well also see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your understanding. So I'm picking it up from creating a sense of urgency, creating a sense of urgency, creating a sense of urgency through storytelling. How do you create a sense of urgency through your storytelling? One, use stories to highlight the benefit of acting quickly. There are two keywords I want you to master in this statement: benefit, then acting quickly. Benefit and acting quickly. When we talk of benefit, we talk of values, the values. So, and whatever you are doing that you are not adding value, as a salesperson, you are not creating value, then you seem not to be successful in your dealings. Value is very important, is the key word. The benefit is the key word. And acting quickly. Here, it is a wrong statement to say delay is not a denial. Here, delay is denial. Delay is denial. That is why you need to create use stories to highlight the benefit of acting quickly, because here delay is denial. You have a promo price today. The promo price doesn't last forever. You have a private sales price today. The private sales price doesn't last forever. That's why I tell people, when we sell at private sales, that is just the best time for every wise investors to key in, because company will always sell at ridiculous price, and that doesn't last forever. It's just for the wise, smart investors. Wise, smart investors with quick actions. Share examples of limited time opportunity. In fact, especially in any promo, in any product, of the promo lasts while the product lasts. The promo lasts while the offer lasts. So it means the promo can be off anytime, any moment, unannounced. You need to share a sample of limited time opportunities. The opportunity they are having at their fingertip today might not be there in 2 minutes' time. Create that curiosity, create that urgency in them. Let them rush and get the money. I've done it in this office here. There was a woman that wanted to subscribe for the wedding registration, wanted to pay for 450,000 naira, and was not having that 450. I said, look, madam, in fact, at this point, you need to call your enemy to send you 50,000 naira to complete this money. You need to call your enemy, because you see this opportunity you see today, before the end of the day, might not be available for you again. Look at it, 450,000 naira for half plot of land and some other benefit package. What are you talking about? The woman paid in the office that day. She made the payment. She called the husband, just send me 50,000 naira. When I get home, I'll be explaining to you. Emphasize the consequences of waiting. Emphasize the consequences of waiting, the punishment of waiting, the hazard in waiting. Emphasize on it, hammer on it. Let them realize the consequences of waiting. Let them realize that failure or the waiting to acquire at a lesser price today, by the next year, in the next month, they will carry huge amount of money, but they will not be able to acquire it. Take, for instance, our able CEO, the billionaire mentor, Dr. Ambassador Michael Adeyemi, told me a story of when he was still in the networking business, that a man took him to Ireland, to Ibejuleki, to buy an acre of land for as low as 3 million naira then. And the man was offering him 10 acres, of which he has the money. Then he can easily afford the 30 million naira to buy the 10 acres. That even if he cannot afford that, he can still afford to buy 5 acres at 15 million naira. But he asked me, Jide, asked me what I did. I said, what did you do, sir? He said, Jide, I went to go and buy the latest Venza. The latest Venza in town then. I went to go and buy it. He was cruising it here and there. That the old man came to his office one day. He saw the car outside. He showed him the car. He said, this is my new car. I said, the man looked at it like this. He said, you cry? But the man shook his head for him. When they got to his office, he now asked the man, why did you shake your head for me? He said, you will still look for me one day, 1 year. You will still look for me and beg me and apologize for forgiveness of what you did. For after this money, I'm not buying the land. He now said, when he joined the real estate company, when he started his real estate company, he now went to that same area and asked for how much they are selling a plot of land there at that in Pejuleki. The plot of land at the time he started this company was selling for the rate of 10 million naira per plot. 10 million naira per plot. Then, if he had put the whole 15 million naira on the 5 acres, that would be giving him 30 plots of land. And that would have earned him 300 million naira. 300 million naira from a business of 15 million naira. Emphasize the consequences of waiting. Emphasize the consequences of waiting. Then, best practices for storytelling in sales. What are the best practices for storytelling in sales? Keep it concise and focused. Be focused. Have target. Know where you are heading to. Don't just tell a story, and don't just tell any story. Tell a story. In your story, be concise and be focused. Have a destination in your story. Then use authentic and genuine language. Use authentic and genuine language. You need to be natural in the language used. You need to be natural. You need to be neutral. You don't need to be too desperate in your pursuing. Don't need to be too desperate. So you don't need to be sugar-coated. You don't need it. Just be straightforward, be genuine, and be natural. That is another key and another best practices. Practice your storytelling skills, and you also need to practice your storytelling skills. Practice your storytelling skills. Measuring success. How do you measure the effectiveness of your storytelling in sales? How do you do that? How do you track out your success and the effectiveness of your storytelling? How do you track it out? Track engagement and conversion rate. Track your engagement rate and your conversion rate. How do you do this? Have a record. Get a diary on your laptop. Open a page where every single prospect you talk to, you preach the gospel to in a single month will enter. And at the end of that month, go through that record again, check how many you are able to convert to sales. How many you are able to convert to sales. With that, by the time you compare and contrast your engagement rate to your conversion rate, you will be able to know whether you are actually making success in your sales profession or not. This will help you gather feedback from clients. Of course, feedback helps a lot. It helps you as a salesperson to know where you need to build on. It helps you where you need to do more. It helps you to identify your area of lackness. It helps you to identify where you are doing well. It helps you to find out the lasting solution to where seems as a problem. So take for instance, as a person, I do ask people after a talk, what do you see to my talk? What do you see to my class? I don't want you to tell me, oh, we trust you, you are trying. No. I'm a human being and I'm liable to make error, to commit blunders. But just tell me because of another time so that I can build upon that and I will take note of that. That is very good. That is very good. Even as a company, By the time you try to get feedback from your client, it helps the company to know where their lapses lie. It helps the company to know where they are doing well. It helps the company to even thinking of solution to the unknown problem that they are able to identify through the feedback. Then refine your storytelling approach based on results. When you want to refine your storytelling, you want to book your storytelling, you want to prepare your storytelling, let it based on your results, on the results. Don't just formulate, combine, and parabolate things together. Let it based on your result. That is, it will be based on fact check. It will be based on fact check based on the result. Practice storytelling skills, applying techniques. Practice storytelling skills, applying techniques to sales interactions. Then you win like never before. By the time you practice storytelling skills, you apply the techniques to sales interaction, then you win like never before. You win like never before. And don't forget, it is on this note, I want to appreciate everyone, especially for your time, even when it seems network problem, you still took your time to be online to receive to the end of this class. That is so much appreciated. And that is awesome of you guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank for the audience granted unto me. And this class still continues by tomorrow. Same time, 8 p.m. is another day for another powerful lecture like this. At this junction, I would like to know the floor is declared open right now.